Hey y'all, it's me. Listen. I am back. And it feels so good to be back. I wanted to get on here a little bit early tonight because I wanted to make sure first and foremost, right, that everything is working properly, that I can sign in and all of that good stuff. Because we can have a lot of different technical difficulties and all of that, but I'm just so excited, y'all, about the glow up is it's so much that is coming forth and from the glow up is I'm still going to be encouraging you. I'm still, like I said, we growing together, right, so we can get this glow. And it's a real thing because this is what we do. This is what we do. We can't stay the same. I'm not going to let you stay the same. You're not going to be who you used to be just yesterday. But I just want to get on here tonight because um, there's so much that's changing, y'all. So I had put like a little video up the other day. And when I put the video up, I was like, man, God has really been touching me, right? And really tugging at my heart where when he gave me the glow up, right? Um, the glow up is external, right? But a lot of times we miss out on different things because we're so consumed with the outer appearance that we forget about the inside, the internal, right? And there's so many different things that make up the body. There's so many things that make up the body, but we all have different things that we deal with, which we all have a mental state. We all have an emotional state. We have a spiritual state, right? Um, and we have a physical state, but all of it goes hand in hand, and that is what the glow up is about. It's about tackling those things that are holding us back, right? Being transparent with ourselves. And so, God had to really tug on me this week, really, to get me started on that, because in order for me to grow, right, I have to be transparent. And in order for me to really be able to get this glow, right, that God has called for me to have and you to have, right, we got to be open and honest with ourselves, and we have to bring awareness to what it is. And if we can acknowledge it, right, then we can begin the healing process. And so I just want to give you all a little bit of backstory, right? And so my life is definitely not my own. I have always been a very outspoken person. I've never had like self-esteem issues, right? But I've always wanted to be perfect. I don't know about y'all, but I've always aimed to be perfect. I've always wanted to, I'm not gonna say really perfect, really. But I've always aimed to be better. I've always wanted to find a way to better myself, right? Whether or not if it's me adding hair to my head. I never was into makeup like that, but I do like my lip gloss to pop. You see that now. That hasn't changed. But I've always been like a girly girl, but then at the same time, I never really cared about what I would wear when I was younger, right? But as I got older and was developing into this young lady, things began to change, right? Because as you get older, right, your wants, your desires, all of those things begin to change. And one thing I can say about my journey, right, in this thing called life, I think sometimes we aim for perfection, not realizing that it's okay for us to be human. And that is what God has been really tugging at me with in just this week. It's like it's okay for you to be human, Toya. It's all right for you, to have the feelings that you have. It's okay for you to toggle the emotions. It's okay for you to get mad. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you, to not want to go out. It's okay for you, to not want to do the things that it is that you know that you're supposed to do. And so I wanted to go into the book of Romans tonight because, um, man, listen, it really pondered on me this week. Like, y'all, that thing hit me like a ton of bricks. When I say that thing hit me like a ton of bricks, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Okay. So, Romans chapter 7, Um, and it blew my mind, right? Because I got to see it in a different perspective from it. And I've been asking God for perspective. I've been asking him to help me, God, to see things differently, right? And again, we've been talking about acknowledgement, we're talking about life and how life is happening, but also how did I get here, right? And how we deal with things and how do we deal with our emotions and how it is okay for us to still be human, right? But yet at the same time, we still have to take accountability for our choices. And so I wanted to get on here because I was like, listen, I gotta share with my people. I ain't seen them in a while. I hope y'all doing good. I hope that you have been just enjoying your time. Y'all, I had to take a mental break. I literally had to take a mental break. I needed to just, get myself together, right? And wrap some things up, right, about me. And that's what I'm so excited about. And sometimes, man, God will have you isolate yourself, and not just isolate yourself, but really take the time to spend with him, right? And I was very intentional with spending the time with him. So then that way I can get in position, right, to receive what it is that he has for me. So, anyways, I want to go into Romans, y'all. Romans. So I believe the part that I'm looking at, Romans 7:7, it says, what shall we say then? Is the law sinful? Certainly not. Nevertheless, I would not have known what sin was had it not been for the law, for I would not have known what coveting really was if the law had not said, you shall not covet. But sin, seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, produced in me every kind of coveting. For apart from the law, sin was dead. Once I was alive apart from the law, but when the commandment came, sin sprang to life and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life actually brought death. For sin, for sin seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment deceived me, and through the commandment put me to death. So then the law is holy and the commandment is holy, righteous, and good. Did that which is good then become death to me? By no means. Nevertheless, in order that sin might be recognized as sin, it used what is good to bring about my death, so that through the commandment sin might become utterly sinful. We know that the law is spiritual, but I am unspiritual, sold as a slave to sin. This is the verse that I really want to focus on right here. Verse 15. I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do. And if I do what I do not want to do, I agree that the law is good. As it is no longer I myself who do it, but it is sin living in me. For verse 18, for I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep on doing. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it is no longer I who do it, but it is the sin living in me that does it. Y'all, that thing took me out. Okay? It took me out because I was like, wait a minute. So it made me really evaluate what I have going on in my mind, in my thoughts, right? Because again, we've been talking about, expanding upon this glow, right? We got to get this glow. And in order for us to glow, we got to target the mental, we got to target the emotional, we got to target, all of these things spiritually. But then at the same time, it affects us physically. And I don't know about y'all, but listen, I've been on this weight loss journey, right, for a little while now. And I've been on this weight loss journey, right, for a little while, right? And I'm not saying, that is, but it's hard. I can't even say that it's not. It's hard, right? It is really hard when you're trying to lose weight naturally, because a lot of times what happens is we get in habit. We get in habit of doing things. And because we get in habit of doing things, we think that it's okay because we've been doing it for so long. And because we've been doing it for so long, the conviction is now gone and it feels good to us. So the things that I don't want to do, I do it because I've been doing it for so long, right? And so then I try to tackle those things and I'm trying to figure out, like, how in the world am I even here, or how did I even get here, right? But I allow my emotions, right, to begin to get the best of me because I've now acknowledged, right, that there is a issue. There's an issue. So this is me mentally coming into, right? And then God utilized his word to speak to my spirit to let me know, hold on, time out. And this is the Holy Spirit. Wait a minute. You doing too much. You know how sometimes your body will let you know, and it's a physical thing too. Your body will let you know, you gotta stop eating. You should stop now. You full. Stop. You can stop now. But yet you know it's a little teeny piece of burger left, right? So you're like, I don't want to save it for later. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just go ahead on and eat it. And you eat it. And then you're stuffed. But at that moment, right, you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking like, okay, I don't want to throw it away. And a part of you have been doing it for so long. And I don't know about y'all, I don't like to waste food. I do not like to waste food. I like to eat all my food on off the plate. Everything that's on my plate, I gotta eat it. I ain't trying to leave nothing. I ain't trying to do none of that. Even when I go out to a restaurant, I don't like to take food with me for real, right? Unless I'm absolutely full and I'm just like, okay, I gotta shut this down. I can't go no more, right? I done got better with that, but I'm just using this as an example right now because sometimes even in our flesh, oh, hey, Mario. Hey, how are you? Yes, yes, welcome back. Yes, yes, yes. So the thing that's crazy is that sometimes we get so wrapped up in ourselves that we lose focus, right? And this is what the enemy wants us to do. He wants us to lose focus, right? But we're not even going to blame it on the enemy. We're going to say, hey, this is the flesh that's doing this thing. This is me. A lot of times it ain't even just the enemy that does it, right? We got a choice to make. He can present itself. He can present whatever and make it look good, feel good, all of that stuff, right? But doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's supposed to be. And so then the deception comes in, right? And the perception of what we think that it is, right? We look at that and we start making moves, right? Not realizing that this is affecting us again emotionally, right? Because our emotions is tied to it because we've been doing it for so long and it makes us feel good, right? I don't know about y'all, but when I eat, it makes me feel good. I get excited, I get happy. Sometimes I even do a happy dance. I'm just saying, I do. I get excited about food when I see it, especially if it's pizza or banana pudding. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice old banana pudding with the wafers on it with the whipped cream. Lord have mercy. And then got a nerve to have the crumbs. You know, you get the little crumbles. All right. Look, I'm going all the way there now. You see what I'm saying? See? So it can literally take you, right? It can literally take you up out of here because you have all of those things that are working within you and they all affect each other. They all coincide with each other. We got the first we got it because we up and we just like, okay, I'm gonna eat this thing, right? But then it also affects the physical, our emotional choices, along with our mental, because I put it in my mind that I'm getting ready to eat this thing, right? And I don't even need to eat no more, but I'm gonna go ahead on and eat it because it's there and it looks good. And I know it tastes good because I ate majority of it. So now that I've done all of that, right? Now I'm probably suffering with some stuff, right? Then again, maybe not, right? I could possibly, but maybe not, right? Maybe my body that just got used to it and I'm okay. But what ends up happening is the more that I eat it, the more that I begin to really have some weight on me, right? And I don't know about y'all. I know some people that can eat all day long and not gain nothing. But me, let me go out here and eat something. I am the weight just comes on quickly. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, Lord, can you take that from me? But it's like I have to literally go into the gym or either work out in the house and get some weights and do all of these different things, right? To just be able to get myself back to where I need to be. But do you see how our choices, right? and this is where I'm going with this, is because our choices are so important. We have to make sure that we're choosing properly, right? But the word just told us that we keep doing the things that we know that we should not do because it feels good. And so the reality is that here come the emotions, right? Because we're talking about the emotional. So that means I got to get my emotions in check, right? And then I got to change my mindset. I got to change my mindset first so that emotions can then line in, and then once that lines in, then my spirit is like, okay, all right, hold on. I got enough word, right, to tackle this thing. And then my physical is thanking me and saying, thank you so much for not overeating today. Thank you so much that you've ate enough calories for today that now you don't have to worry about those extra pounds because you didn't exceed your limit. Hello. I'm just saying. See, it's all working together for our good. But a lot of times because it feels good or it tastes good, right? Or it smells good, right? Because that's a whole nother beast, right? Is we can go into relationships with this thing and talking about that for a moment. Like, ouch, right? The relationships. Talk about them. Like, look good, it's in a good package, looks good, sounds good, right? And sometimes we make choices. We have to evaluate our choices because we make choices, right? And those choices come out of habit. Do you ever look at your life and start evaluating the type of men or the type of women that you're dating? Like, you start thinking, you like, dang, wait a minute, hold on. He got this in common with this one. Wait a minute, this one look, wait a minute, they kind of favor each other. Or wait a minute, they kind of act like each other. You know what I'm saying? And so then you find yourself finding bits and pieces of this person in this person, right? And that can affect you mentally, right? Because you're already making a decision, right, based off of what you see and what you feel. And a lot of times, right, our emotions don't know what's best for us. Like in the word Jeremiah, I think it's Jeremiah that said it. Like, the heart is desperately sick. It's desperately sick. And I think Solomon says, out of the heart the issues of life flow. So we have to be mindful of that. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Yes, we gotta be picky. We gotta be picky, Mario. We gotta be picky. Because the reality is, right, is that we want to first and foremost, right, acknowledge our choices. And we got to be held accountable for our choices, right? And even when we choose wrong, it's still a lesson in it, right? Because you're learning from it. And now, because you learn from it, you say, I'm going to do better. But some of us, even though we got the lesson, we didn't learn anything. So we keep it going and it turns into a cycle. And the one thing about the enemy, right, is that he knows our patterns. He knows exactly how to line it up. He knows exactly how to make that thing, how to make that thing smell good, right? Have on the smell goods, that scent that you like, right? Dress it up and all of it, right? And when you on a diet or you intentionally trying to eat right, here come a bake sale. Here come the kids out here with Girl Scout cookies. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what in the world? Like, y'all weren't even out here last week, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But see, when you become intentional, right, with living for God, and that's when that spiritual man comes up, right? We have to have enough food, right, for our spiritual man to have and to glean on and to eat from. Because if we don't have enough food for our spiritual man to eat from, then how in the world do we expect not to gain the weight? How do we expect not to, you know what I'm saying, to fall into temptation and choose right? How do we even expect to choose right if we don't have enough of God in us, right, to be able to choose? Am I saying that God chooses for you? Absolutely not, right? But the reality is, right, He gave us His word. And because He gives us His word, and because we spend time with Him where we should be spending time with Him, I'm not going to say we spend time, I'm not going to just assume everybody out here just spending time with God. I am intentional with spending time with God, and I can know that I can always do better in that aspect. However, if the more time we spend with him, the more he reveals to us who he is, and then he reveals who we are, right? And so then in that, in what that then does is that we're not looking for something or someone to help fill us when God is already enough by himself. You get what I'm saying? So that thing blessed me, man, on this week. And I was just like, wow, God. I said, you know what? I said, maybe I'm going about things wrong. Maybe I'm doing some things, that I shouldn't be doing with this when it pertains to this food, right? And so I'm excited about this journey, y'all. Like, God has really, truly, truly blessed me in such a way where I'm just like, you know what, God, it's been an emotional week for me. It's been a very, very emotional week for me. And I just refuse to allow my emotions to get the best of me. Yes, absolutely, a part of me likes to eat when I'm emotional, like when I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling down or I'm feeling, sometimes even when I'm feeling happy, I just like to eat. It just gets me in a better mood, and this is that transparency that comes along where it just makes me feel good, and then I get mad when the ice cream gone. Y'all, listen, Haagen-Dazs got a new ice cream out. It's a New York cheesecake ice cream. Okay. So I decided that I won't even gonna go to the store. I was like, listen, Walmart gonna go ahead on and bring it to me. So I got them to go ahead on and deliver it to me. And I was so excited about this ice cream. Okay. And I had forgot that I had put the ice cream in the daggone in the freezer. So I end up taking it out, because earlier this week, and even now, I'm getting better now. But earlier this week, I was feeling some type of way about some things, right? And rightfully so. But instead of me dealing with it with God, I was like, man, I'm gonna go get me some ice cream. The ice cream was talking to me. I opened the freezer up and forgot it was in there. Opened it up and I was like, man, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute because I know when it sit, it get nice and soft and get so excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, this New York cheesecake chunks inside the Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And Haagen-Dazs is like my favorite ice cream. I usually get butter pecan, but I got the daggone New York cheesecake ice cream, y'all. And when I tell y'all, I got it and I ate that thing and it felt so good. And I got all the way down to the bottom. I didn't even realize that it was all gone. I was so mad at myself. I was pissed. I was pissed that it was gone. I was just like, oh my God, it's gone. It was making me feel good. I was talking to the ice cream and everything. You know how good stuff be. You start talking to the ice cream. And maybe it's just me, but I'm just saying, listen, I was talking to that ice cream and the ice cream made me feel so kind of good. Okay. And I was mad because it was gone. I was just like, wow. So the ice cream gone. What else you gonna do? And I could have picked up the word then, right? Because my spiritual side didn't have enough in it at that moment because the physical was winning. Okay, the physical was winning. That flesh was winning because my emotions was already tied to it, right? And instead of me dealing with it, I decided to put it off. But this is where we evaluate our habits and we got to get real with ourselves. And I'm glad that I can be, again, transparent with you all, right? In my struggle, because me losing this weight and then gaining it, what I'm learning is that consistency is just not giving up. Consistency means that you're not giving up. That means that you still got time. That means that you still in the race. That means that you still going, right? Even though it looks crazy, you know? And so in here though, right? In your mind, like in our minds, we have to make up our minds on what it is that we need to do. But we have to pay attention to our habits, right? Because of the things that we know that we're not supposed to do, we keep doing them because it's the sin that's in us. It's the sinful nature. It's the sinful nature that lives in us that wants to do those things that we've been doing for so long. We've been choosing wrong. We've been choosing the wrong people. Listen, if you tap into and you even start utilizing and you start using your brain, like really using your brain and start really allowing your mental, right, to really take heed to peace, right, to really take heed to joy, and that spirit will tap into that mental, and it will literally silence the voices of the emotions, literally. it will silence them. It will silence them. And I don't know about y'all. Listen, I talk to myself too. Don't judge me. I talk to myself. Yep. And I answer myself sometimes because ain't nobody else here to answer me. So I answer me, right? I answer me sometimes. But I truly, truly believe, right, is that it starts there. It starts with you being aware. It starts with you making an actual choice, right? And being intentional with the choice that God, I want to choose you. God, I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose me today because I have to grow through this. I want to glow. I want the light to shine, not my light, but I want greater is he that is within me, right? I want your light to shine in me, God. I want your light to shine. Even if it's one person before I go, before you call me home, God, I just want one person. One person. Mario, don't judge me. You talking about some Houston, we might have a problem. I'm talking back to myself. And I do. I do sometimes. Not all the time, but I do sometimes because at the end of the day, listen, it is what it is. It's you got to make it. You have to be really, really open, right, with yourself. And I think that sometimes the problem and the issue is the one that's in the mirror. Like we don't even like what we see. We don't even like what we see. Like, and it's not necessarily the physical, right, that we may not like, right? But it can be some things in the inside that you just don't like. And I had to deal with these roots. And I'm telling you, because it's like, okay, God, I really want this relationship. I really want this to work out. I really want this job. I really want this career that you have for me. I really want to get some of this weight off, God. You gave me a new transition. I'm in a new place now, and I'm trusting you and I'm believing in you and I know that you're going to do it, but yet I'm taking the same mess with me. Right. And it's a message in the mess. Absolutely, it is. And I'm thankful for that because I'm sharing it with you now. You see what I'm saying? But I could get so tied up and so boggled in my own feelings that sometimes I don't even realize that I'm even doing it. And it's crazy because it's like, that's what Paul is telling us. It's like we've been doing it for so long, right? We don't think that there's nothing wrong because we've been doing it for so long. But when we become intentional with spending time with God, God will give us that conviction. And God will say, hey, I can finally rise up because you don't have to keep sinning in order to feel good. I'm right here to make you feel good. Right. And so then what happens is that we accept him, we accept God, right, into our lives mentally, right? Because the mind and then the heart, right? And if the mind is relaying it to the heart, that means that God has control over the mind and the emotions, right? Which then we can then begin to make better choices spiritually, right? And so then when we make that spiritually better choices than the physical, right? It begins to glow. Not only does it begin to glow, but you begin to see some changes in your life. Some of us walking around thinking that, we got it all together and we don't. We will never ever arrive. Some of us don't even look our age, and that's a blessing. But some of us actually do look our age. You see what I'm saying? And some of us look older. Some of us look older. And I'm just like, man, I ain't even 40 years old yet, but I feel like I look about 50. And that ain't cool. And I'm just like, all right, God, I need you to help me with some of this weight. Because I feel like sometimes weight can make you look older, right? And even though I may dye my hair and, because I got to look gray, oh God, don't even get me started on that, right? But I'm accepting those things that I cannot change. I can't do nothing about it, right? But I'm taking these things as evidence and as receipts because what happens now is that I now have an opportunity, right, to be able to say, let's go and let's grow. Let's glow and let's grow because we got to. We have to, and we have to be intentional with our choices. So tonight, I just wanted to get on here, man, because I'm just like, I hadn't been on here in a while, and I know I probably talked y'all heads off and all of that, but I just wanted to share that word with you all because even though you may be hurting, even though you may cry and the emotions and all of that, all the emotions and different things, right? Those things are temporary. It's not gonna last long. Joy does come in the morning, but you have to choose God. Like there is no way in this week that I really should have came out of what I was in. But God saw fit for me to be able to come out of it, right? And I'm still dealing with some things. That's me being truthful, right? I'm still dealing with some of the hurt and some of the things of just not knowing, right? Just not knowing. But at the same time, I trust God. I trust Him. I trust Him with everything that I am. I'm so thankful for His love. I'm so thankful for His faithfulness, even when I'm not. And that's me being honest, right? Because I'm not always faithful. I'm not always spending time with him. I know I could spend much more time, right? But I do try to spend at least an hour or two with him a day, right? I try, you know what I'm saying? That's always my intention. But sometimes I only spend maybe 15 to 30 minutes, right? And that's in addition to me praying in the morning and in addition to me praying at night. But I'm like, it's never enough time. It's never enough time. These are my intentions, but then I get distracted. And it's all of habits. And so we have to be mindful of the choices that we're making because every single choice matters. Every single choice counts. There's no losses in the kingdom, man. There's no losses in the kingdom. Take them all as blessings, take them all as lessons, but we are here to grow. And so, y'all, listen, I'm your pusher. I'm your pusher. I'm your encourager. I got you. You know what I'm saying? You're not by yourself. You're not in this thing by yourself. Listen, you like the enemy would like to isolate you and tell you all different types of things, right? And try to deceive you. But that's his job, man. He's doing his job. He is doing his job. Are you doing yours? And that is what this is. We're just growing to glow. I thank y'all so much, man, for tuning in on tonight. I'm excited to be back. We can expect so much coming from the Glow Up Is. The podcast is just, man, I just love being able to just get on here, man, speak my mind, and just to be anchored in the Lord, right? And just be transparent because the world that we're living in right now, man, we got some hard things. We got some tough times coming. You know what I'm saying? But what I take peace in, what I take comfort in is knowing that nothing goes on without God's yes. And that's all I got to say about that. But I'm going to see you all next week. And I thank y'all so much for tuning in. Oh my gosh, you all bless me every single time. Remember, y'all, we are in this thing together. No sis left behind, no bro left behind. I'm right here with you every single step of the way. Tune in next week, 8 o'clock p.m., same time, Eastern time, live every Friday with your girl, The Glow Up Is. So I will holler at y'all next week. I love y'all so much. Share this video. Yeah, I love y'all. I'm just thankful. I love y'all. Mwah. Bye.